With more than 400 breeds of dog in the world, choosing the right one to suit you and your family can be a challenging task. Which breed do you go for? Does it matter if you go for a purebred or a mixture? We're going to explore what makes dog breeds different in this video and hopefully help you to better understand your options. Dogs come in more sizes, shapes and colors than any other species on the planet. This incredible versatility means that there really is a breed to suit everyone. It just might take a little time and digging to find out which it is. The main factor that differentiates different breeds of dogs lies in their DNA. Their DNA is like an instruction manual that controls what the puppy looks like, as well as elements of how they will behave. Half of their DNA is passed on from their mom and the other half from their dad. This is why it's always a great idea, if you can, to meet your dog's mom and dad before buying the puppy. This can give you a valuable insight into whether your puppy may inherit traits such as aggression, fearfulness, or resource guarding, among others. About 10 to 40% of your puppy's visual and personality traits are set in stone and can't be changed. This can include things like their eye color, their size, coat color, and some personality traits, such as a tendency to enjoy digging in terriers, or an obsession with herding in some collies. The remainder of their genetic traits are a little bit more fluid and can be changed and molded by the puppy's environment. It's therefore a good idea to ask your breeder why they chose to breed with those two dogs. If they chose to breed them for their ability to work and you love running and hiking, then it may be a match made in heaven. However, if you're a couch potato, then looking for dogs that were bred for temperament and calmness would be a better option. In addition, finding a breeder who birthed and raised their puppies in their house can better help your puppy adapt when you bring them home too. This will give them a head start in socialization to all the sounds and smells associated with general day-to-day living. The same thing applies if you've got children. Finding a breeder who has children of their own can also really help to socialize your puppy to kids before you even bring them home. The genes that your dog inherits can either be dominant or recessive. For example, genes for coat color in border collies are often dominant, and most border collie crosses show the traditional black and white coats. Others, such as the gene for white hair or long hair in German Shepherds, can be recessive and will only show up if the gene is passed on by both the puppy's mom and dad. Something that we're only now beginning to understand is that when we breed for specific traits, some other genes can tag along too. These genes can be good, bad, or neutral and can include things like coat color, appetite, diseases, and aggression, among others. Our border collie coat is another good example here too. Border collies were bred to herd livestock, but the black and white coats tagged along and eventually became prolific enough in the breed that they became a part of the breed standard. In the same way, scientists have discovered some genes for cancers that have tagged along in some golden retrievers, and a tag-along gene has been discovered in some lines of Labradors that controls their appetite and food drive. This is one of the reasons why Labradors are so prone to obesity. So what should you be aware of when looking to get a purebred dog? Over centuries, different breeds of dogs have been selected for specific traits. For example, small size in Chihuahuas, scent work in bloodhounds, and herding in collies. As a result, we can expect our purebred friends to look a certain way, and in general to act a certain way too. So if you've got your eye on a certain breed, it's important to research what exactly their ancestors were bred for, as this will probably make up a big part of their personality once they're older too. It's also important to understand how this may impact your life once the puppy gets older. For example, a border collie is just as likely to herd your children or other animals as it is to try and herd the sheep, whether you want them to or not. A guardian breed like a German Shepherd will likely be more aloof towards strangers, and they can be sensitive to new people entering their home. As a result, it can be really important to socialize these breeds to strangers early on, to try and create a more positive experience and circumvent these traits when the dog is older. If you're an avid gardener and you decide to get a breed like a Jack Russell, it's going to be really important to make sure that that dog gets enough physical stimulation to prevent them from digging up your flower beds. Even just understanding that a Golden Retriever and a Labrador are excessively friendly dogs is really important, because when you're on walking, teaching these dogs to ignore people can actually be more important than teaching them to interact with them. This will help to prevent leash reactivity later on in life. Every breed of dog will have its advantages and its disadvantages, so looking into both and how these dogs will best fit into your lifestyle is really important in helping you to make your final decision. So what about crossbreed dogs? Many people will opt to get a mixed breed dog as opposed to a purebred dog. It's important to know that the same rules apply for mixed breed dogs and purebred dogs, although mixed breeds can be a little bit more complicated. Your pup's looks and personality will depend greatly on what they're mixed with. Your puppy may inherit traits from all the breeds of dogs that they're crossed with, or may lean towards one part of their heritage over the other. Sometimes this can work out wonderfully, and sometimes it can make these puppies a little bit more challenging to understand and deal with. For example, one of my clients has a teacup poodle mixed with a black Labrador. Bonnie, the resulting puppy, is a delightful mixture of the intelligent fluffy poodle with the willingness to please and the easygoing nature of a Labrador. She's got a gentle mouth, catches onto training quickly, and is an absolute pleasure to work with. However, not all Labradors that I've seen are like this. On the other side of the coin, meet Cody. Now, Cody comes from a Malinois mother and a Collie Terrier father. Although Cody picks up 90% of his looks from his father's Terrier heritage, he got the bulk of his personality from his Malinois mom. Cody has an exceptionally high drive, he bores easily, and as per his Malinois side, he tends to use his teeth anytime that he gets over-aroused, bored, or frustrated. As a working line Malinois, this motivation and energy level is a trainer's dream, but Cody found a home as a house pet and is his owner's first puppy. Life as a house pet is challenging for this pup, and in the few short weeks that his owners had him, he's destroyed multiple items in her backyard and regularly takes out his frustration on her hands, arms, and ankles. Luckily, Cody's mom reached out to a trainer, and we're working to channel his destructive energy into something more constructive. But based on his breeds, he has a tendency to dig and chew like a terrier, to try herd and go for ankles like a border collie, and excessively uses his teeth like a Malinois. His high energy and drive come from all three. So knowing what your puppy is crossed with can give you a really good insight into behavior that you can expect from them. The challenge with a crossbreed dog is we never know which side of the genetics is going to come out over the others. So if you've got a large breed and a small breed mixed, it's very difficult to actually predict what size the dog is going to be. And if you've got two different personality types, they may lean one way, they may lean the other, or they may have a good combination of the two. Understanding the advantages and disadvantages in all the breeds involved in your puppy should be paramount in helping you make the decision as to whether this will be the right dog for you. There is also often an argument that mixed breed dogs are healthier and more robust than purebred dogs. Although not always true, this is generally due to the fact that there's a greater variety of genes between breeds than there is within a single breed. So the genes between a Labrador and a Spaniel will differ significantly more than those within a group of Labradors. So for example, if your puppy is a Labrador-Spaniel cross, they can inherit genes both prevalent in Cocker Spaniels and in Labradors. A pup like this could still inherit the gene for high appetite found in Labradors, but as it's unlikely that the Cocker Spaniel parent carries the gene, it may not show up at all, or it may be less severe than if the puppy had two Labrador parents with the gene. So in summary, what should you focus on when getting your new pup? First and foremost, the breed. Look into the energy level, intelligence, and trainability of your dog. Is your dog going to be a working dog or a family dog? Do you have children? And how does all of this fit in with the breed characteristics that you know are likely to be included in your puppy once they grow up? Look at your living situation. Do you have a large garden? Are you living in an area that doesn't allow certain breeds? Are there other family members involved, and what is their experience in dealing with dogs, and is that a factor that you need to look into? You should also take your dog's size and grooming needs into account. Most dogs, for example, will shed. If you do choose to get a non-shedding type of dog, like something with poodle in it, then you'll likely be taking them to the groomers every 6 weeks to get their hair trimmed. Also look into the size of the dog versus your living area. A Great Dane wouldn't do too well in an apartment, for example, but even a smaller dog like a Jack Russell might struggle just based on their energy needs, so that's also something to consider. Lastly, look into the breeder. Speak to your breeder before you pick the puppy up. Ask them why they chose the parents, what was the function, is it temperament, is it personality, is it working ability? Take a look at any early socialization that they may have done with the pups. Are they raised in a house? Are they raised with kids? Has the breeder done socialization with things like vacuum cleaners and brooms? Finally, ask to meet the parents. Meeting the parents of your dog will give you a really good indication as to what kind of personality your puppy may inherit as it gets older. So I sincerely hope that has given you some information that you can use on what the best way to pick your puppy is and different things to take into account when you're looking for the right breed of dog for you. If you'd like any assistance in this regard, please feel free to get in touch with us at Planet Pup Dog Training. You can contact us via our website, which is www.myplanetpup.com.